Good morning, everyone. It's Cynthia with your daily tarot card of the day. Thank you so much for joining me here. I really appreciate you. And I certainly hope that you are having a beautiful time wherever you are, whatever you're doing. So this week's deck is the HerbCrafter's Tarot. I've got information about that in the description box below. I'm going to take a moment to tune into the collective general energies of the day and see what messages that Spirit wants to bring through for us. These messages are timeless, so whenever you happen to find this video and you look at it, there's likely a message here for you. But above all else, please listen to your own intuition, inner guidance, higher self, spirit guides. Of the messages I deliver, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And with whatever card pops up, take a moment with your own intuition. See what personal messages or insights that you might receive yourself. Thank you, Spirit. What do you have for us today? Are you kidding me? You saw me shuffle, right? We got this card yesterday. Wow. Spirit, can we get another one? I'll leave sorry, I was gonna say I'll leave a link to yesterday's video down in the description box because we got this card 2 days in a row, and Spirit pretty much told me, and this could be part of the message, they're saying something about karmic cycle, but they also said today's a new day, today's a different day, and that was part of the message yesterday. Closing the book on the past, recognizing, having the patience to recognize that even though we might go through the same 4 seasons every year, it's always a new year. It's always a new season. This summer different than last summer. This past winter different than the winter before. Right? So there's that idea of still being patient with yourself and with the process. It's a growth process. There's nothing to be afraid of. They're showing me, like with the imagery of the oak tree, they're showing me the weather. So it's like every season has different weather, and when you have those different circumstances or these different vibes, different energies, you're inherently in a new situation, even though there seems to be something so consistent about it. So if you feel like you're stuck in a karmic cycle or some kind of a karmic relationship, or if you feel like you are stuck on that one lesson and it's like, don't berate yourself. Don't do that, because that's going to keep you stuck. Recognize that you are a different person. Redefine who you are in this moment, because even though there could be elements that look the same, there's something different. And in acknowledging and recognizing that, even if the only difference is within you, acknowledging and recognizing that unlocks us to be able to be a little bit more graceful with ourselves, lend a little bit more grace to the situation that we might be facing, or the challenge or lesson or whatever it is. But you've got the strength and you've got the knowledge to put into wisdom. And it's not just the Oak card, strength, but then the card to come out on top as a clarifier, since this is the Strength card, which has garlic on it. And in this particular artwork with the honey and the garlic, it's like making a like an almost like a homemade antibiotic, you know, sore throat, like a home remedy recipe, right? The idea of the sweetness of the honey and the properties of the garlic being cleansing and purifying, right? The sweetness balances out some of the potency and bitterness or spiciness of, say, the fresh garlic. You know, and you can do like a cold maceration, which is where you just kind of sort of put them in a jar and let them sit and kind of stew together for a little bit, and then you get this medicinal garlic honey. So the idea of the Strength card, and look, so then 7, 8, right? And we're going from Pentacles, Earth element, to the Strength card. So whatever the energies of the day is dealing with, there's something very strong and potent here, and it is making you stronger, and it is okay. But today's energy, and I'm kind of feeling it like within the past 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, the universe seems to be giving us this energy, life, the planet, what have you, seems to be giving us this energy of it's making you stronger, more resilient. His strength isn't always just the rootedness and the groundedness and the reaching for the skies and the sturdiness like the oak tree, right? But strength is also the resiliency, the ability to handle a challenge and bounce back from it. And that's what increases strength. Anybody who does strength training or weight training at the gym, you know, might also understand this, right? Or there's so many different things in life that do the same thing. When you put it, when you're under that little bit of pressure and there's that challenge to deal with, then you end up getting stronger. You have to create those tiny little tears in your muscles and then consume some kind of amino acids, proteins, what have you, and then your body heals the torn muscle by building more muscle cells. And that's how you tone, strengthen, or even build muscles. So being under pressure is not necessarily a bad thing. You're not going to be put under pressure that you can't handle. And then they were just they were just kind of showing me like a funny sort of instructional cartoon of like gravity. And gravity affects, it's one principle in physics, science, whatever, and it operates for all intents and purposes, we're going to say it operates the same way all over our beautiful planet. And it's got lots of different mechanisms, and it's the interaction of forces and all this physics stuff, right? But it influences different people differently. And I don't think that that just has to do with mass. Our energy. That's why we talk about, something being a grave situation, or, there was a gravity about the room or the meeting or whatever. There's a seriousness there, right? When we take things too seriously, we literally weigh ourselves down by allowing gravity to make us heavier. That was the whole idea. Now they're showing me the Egyptian gods. Ma'at was the goddess of justice. But who was the other one? Was it Seth or Osiris? Had the scale with the feather, and then before you entered the underworld, you would put your heart on it, and it would weigh your heart against that of a feather. And if your heart was heavy, so I'm getting this kind of gravity. I'm getting this sense of gravity and needing the lightness. And strength doesn't make us heavier. Strength actually makes us lighter. We can feel heavy when we're going through a situation, but we need to allow ourselves the opportunity to process. We need to be patient with ourselves and allow ourselves the opportunity to process and come out stronger on the other side. And there's the lightness, the wisdom. Oh, okay. Piecing it together now, too. Thank you, Spirit. When we gain knowledge and experience with our strength, and we have that wisdom, and we carry it forward, when we hold on to the process of how we've gathered that, how we've come across this strength, that's what makes us heavy. Is because we're holding on to the thing that brought us the strength. So there's something in here about this is the season, this is the time, this is the cycle in which to let go of. It doesn't matter which oak tree in the forest you got the acorns from. It really doesn't. And you could say, but the acorns on that tree seem to be a little bit better than the ones on that tree. It doesn't matter. For however you're going to use them, the acorn is the acorn. And there could be nuances. I mean, any chef will tell you. Because of how something grows, because of what's in the soil. But you don't have to worry about it. They're very clearly talking about letting go, closing the book on those things that actually brought you the strength. Acknowledge the strength. You've already acknowledged the individual nuances, the different situations. You have honored the past. You've done that already. You have honored the people, the lessons, the teachers, the situations, the experiences. You've done that already. But there's something here then about, in order to use the strength, you have to disconnect it from where it came from. In order to use the acorns and actually gather them up and carry them home with you, you have to disconnect them from the tree. Or, you know, in the sense of acorns in autumn, they have to already be disconnected from the tree. So it's the same thing with all of the lessons and the strength and the knowledge and the wisdom that you do have. You have to allow yourself the process of gathering up that strength, closing the book on how you received the knowledge, and move forward with the strength, because you're meant to do something new. You're not meant to, it's by using it that you hold on to it, not by clinging to the past. Oh my goodness. And then they just brought up something else too. Anybody who's a Reiki practitioner or knows about it, when you get your Reiki attunements, you're attuned for life. You can get boosters. It doesn't matter if you ever get attuned again or not. It's making connection. It's using a specific process. This is why everybody has access to Reiki. Anybody can tap into the healing life force and channel it, right? Reiki has the attunement process has a specific process of tuning in and working with a person's energy field and chakra system and their channel. Specifically, it's kind of like setting the dial and pre-programming like your car radio. Okay, so we set the dial very specifically to a frequency and we program it to, you know, your preset stations so that you can tap right in. But there's saying like the more you use Reiki, the stronger it gets. It's kind of like a muscle. You're never going to lose it. It won't atrophy completely, but like a muscle, it will get stronger the more that you use it. So if you use it daily, if you use it multiple times a day, or versus if you use it once a week, or if you were really good about using it regularly when you first got your attunement and then like life got crazy and you even forgot that Reiki could help you through the crazy, and you know, you went about life for years and you're like, oh yeah, I did that, but I don't do it anymore. You could do it again, right? So it's almost like the reason that they showed me that is because it's kind of like all those lessons. Sometimes we feel like we're stuck in a karmic cycle, or we keep getting the same soul contract with this particular type of person or this particular karmic relationship or something like that. And we're like, gosh, what am I not learning? What am I not learning? Do I really need to learn the same lesson again? Well, no, you didn't learn to let go. That's why it keeps coming up. Maybe it repeated itself in the beginning because you did need to learn it over and over again. Maybe it came up in the beginning because you didn't recognize it for what it was when it came up time 2, time 3, because the nuances of the situation were a little bit different, and so you didn't recognize the lesson for what it was until after it had happened. That's the logical mind. It's not going to figure that out until it's already happened, right? But at some point, when you're like, all right, I've learned that lesson, I've cut ties with that person, I've forgiven those situations, I've been doing my healing journey now for, you know, however long that you've been working with the energy or something like that, doing your self-improvement, working on your spiritual journey, you know, working on whatever it is that's important to you to evolve as a good person, right? And you say to yourself, why do I keep this pattern over and over and over again? You know, I thought I did this already, like 100 times over. I even did spiritual practices or went to healers or counselors or therapy or whatever. Like, how come I can't let this go? And it's because you can't let it go, because you haven't let it go. You haven't disconnected what you've learned from the place that you learned it. And so the idea of, why did they say, now what was that? Oh, with the Reiki, right. So you're not going to hang around if you're going to use the Reiki and strengthen the Reiki, you're always going to have the opportunity, if you don't use it, to tap into it, because you've been connected to that, like the station's been preset for you, right? So you can always do that. But it comes in clearer the more that you actually listen to that preset station. Okay? The signal strength gets stronger and it clears out. So the idea being that once you gathered the lessons, once you've gathered the acorns, once you're attuned to the Reiki, or once you're whatever it is, right? You actually need to use it. You're not just going to let it sit there. If you want it to be useful to you, if you want it to be a strong part of your life, you actually have to put it into action in a completely different context than from where you learned it. So you're going to take your basket of nuts out of the forest, away from the tree, take it back home. What are you going to do with it? Craft with it, boil out the toxins, and then make a acorn paste or flour or something. I don't know how they do that, but whatever. Point being that, you know, you're going to take the honeycomb out of the hive and you're going to bring it to use it. You're going to harvest the garlic and then you're going to bring it in to use it, right? So the idea being that, you know, learning to, that's how you can use your wisdom, how you can use your knowledge and the lessons that you've learned and fully integrate them, is by disconnecting them from the people, places, things, situations, times in your life, the old you, the old them even, that actually taught you those things, and move forward. And this is it's a process, and you know, and it takes some time. So there's nothing wrong with going through the process, but if you find yourself in a pattern or dealing with something that you thought was already healed or what have you, it's just the energy of today seems to be bringing us to a point of acknowledging, okay, I don't need to engage with this that way anymore. Actually, I can own it. It's again that resiliency, you know. This has strengthened me, and now I'm just going to move forward with that strength because that's the thing that I needed. Wow. And thank you for being here with me today. I wish you lots of peace and blessings, patience with yourself, patience with others, grace through life, lightheartedness. Not exactly sure what all of those messages were, but they came through, and I certainly hope that wasn't too convoluted and that y'all could follow me there. It, it it was kind of strange today how there were just layers and layers of those different pinpointed moments. So hopefully you can thread that together, where I was just repeating the visions, so to speak. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you for being here with me today. I do look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And yeah, enjoy yourself.